DJ D. Hey.
That Greek Time Podcast, 24/7.
Always representing and showing love.
Greek unity.
Hey everyone, this is DJ Dean Thap 2.0. I am a brother of Omega Delta Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I am doing a podcast by myself because I actually posted something on my Instagram. If you actually do see it, it's on DJ Dean Thap on Instagram. So why do Greeks don't date Greeks? And it was a question I put up on my story to see the responses. And I thought it was like very interesting because you can actually see, I don't know why it doesn't pop up the percentage, but it was a good amount of percentage that people put, I don't date Greeks. And I was like, wait a minute. This is a Greek Instagram and you don't date Greeks. And so I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense to me. Why is that happening? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to ask these people their responses. So that was the reason for the next one that I put up on Instagram. I just want, like I said, I wanted people just to be able to say something without actually having their names put out there. So it's going to see what people had said. So let's just get started. So here are the responses. One of them was Greeks talk. We do talk. Yeah. We love to talk. That's pretty much a given. We love to talk. And then so that was a simple answer. So thank you for that. So many reasons. Major ones are they are nosy and a lot of Greeks are unloyal. Dang. Who hurt you? I'm sorry. Dang, that's a lot of Greeks are unloyal. Like, you know, I started trying to think to myself, like the Greeks that I knew or know, they're pretty faithful, to be honest. Like, I don't know too many that were unloyal. Based on what you're saying, there are, of course, individuals and Greeks, and they are like that. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, it's just like, but then it's like a lot. I was like, dang, I'm sorry. Like, I just want to put that apology for you on that part. So I'm like, let me go talk to them. Hopefully, this podcast will help them out to be more loyal. So. But yeah, let's go to the next one. Because they are messy. Yeah. I'm like, wait, because they are messy? Like, you know, I don't know specifics about why they are messy, but I don't know. I keep my room pretty clean, but because they are messy. What was the question I asked again? Oh, why Greeks don't date Greeks? I'm like, because they're messy. I thought they're actually pretty clean. But okay, let's go with that answer on that part. Greek men get messy. Oh wow, specifics now. Date multiple girls. Try to get with your line sisters. Well then, there you go. That's someone's example of what happened, and yeah, that's yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I heard that happen before. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not even just females, you know, males too. I mean, like, it's not just males, it's actually females too. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just a contest for them, but yeah, that's very specific. And yeah, dang, like, yeah, I that's a very good reason why Greeks don't date Greeks. But let's see. Okay, I think this one was a long one. I would say it really depends on how you view dating. I go after women who give off mystery, and unless it's a new member, I don't believe any Greek ladies give a mystery. They are known on some level, which is not appealing to me, but I don't really date Greek for that reason. Interesting. That is a very long response and very detailed response. The mystery part. You know, the mystery part comes in, especially during probate and new member presentation season, like when, you know, they get to reveal themselves and actually, bam, like, here you go, like, here, you know, welcome to Greek life. And that's the mystery part. Like, mystery, I think there's a lot, you know, getting to know a Greek male or female individual, either way or not, like, it is a mystery because they have a story behind it. And I think that's a lot mystery behind all Greeks. And so when you get to know them in detail, that actually is amazing. Like that's what I love about it. Like you get to really know the specific details of that individual. But I'm like, well, I say give it a shot. You never know. Like, it's just I think there's a mystery behind every Greek person. All right, next one. I just feel like it would overwhelm me having both my partner and me both be Greek. Yeah, and in some ways, getting to know someone else from a Greek organization, I actually love getting like when I work with a lot of different Greek organizations, it is actually amazing to get to know them and get to know their just whole like their sacraments, what they believe in, what community service, their goals, the events they go to, and I like that. I honestly, it might be, it is a lot because you have a lot to understand and acknowledge and learn from them on both ends. Like, but you grow as a person, and then I think when two Greeks to get together, like it's like a fusion. Like it's amazing. Two powerful people, power couple. I'm saying like non-Greeks dating Greeks. Not bad. It's just one of the things that it's just cool to see. I don't know why. It's just like that bond. I don't know. That's just how I think about it. As you can tell, I'm that person that's chose the middle answer is pretty much getting to know someone before just to know. But I would not say not to date Greeks or not date Greeks. So yeah. All right, and then let's see here. Because privacy in a relationship does not exist when Greeks date the Greeks. You know what? I understand that part. The privacy thing, it can be very challenging in a way that yeah, I remember doing when I was active, you tend to actually know what happens because people love to talk. And you pretty much know who's with who nowadays at a Greek level. But I think it depends on the person who prefers to stay private or not private. Because you see on Instagram, people posted the public, like recently with the Valentine's Day, a lot of people were posting about it. A lot of people didn't post a name. It to me, it doesn't really matter what you do on a social media component of it. It's more how you treat the person. And then you would know if a person's being treated right in a relationship. And so you can tell when a Greek person is not treating another Greek person correctly, just based on everything that you see, especially when events happen or in public or on social media too. However, I tend to see in person if the person is being treated correctly on that part. But yeah, thank you for that one. And then drams, drams. I guess someone's showing it, so maybe drama. So that's definitely true. Drams, like that's definitely a new word. Greek chisme and gossip. I guess just to give me a translation. But yeah, it is true, and yeah, but it shouldn't stop you from dating Greeks. You know what I mean? That's the thing. People will always gossip if you don't date Greeks. I think that's what happens. You date someone that's non-Greek, like, oh man, the person dating, non-Greek or anything, blah blah blah. And it tends to happen that way. And I'm like thinking to myself, yeah, people still talk, like no matter what, no matter who you with. And then I guess they do talk more when they know it's Greek, and then because they have their brothers or sisters or siblings, to actually continue to talk about what's happening. And so I completely understand that. And probably will increase with Greek life, but that's why you join. I'm joking. Okay, so next one. Let's see. You mess with one Greek and it doesn't work out. The whole org doesn't like you at the end. Yeah. Well, hopefully you treated them right. Like that I can actually understand that. I've heard that happen where if you don't treat one right, well, if one doesn't work out, then the whole org doesn't like you. However, I I think it depends how big your org is too. Another response to that I honestly trying to think like if someone treated like, I'm trying to think if someone treated one of my brothers, yeah, in a way you can find out usually what happens. Uh, I think it's different with, of course, fraternities and sororities. I think fraternities like to mess with each other and like just you did something wrong. It's like we always blame the other person, but usually you can tell like based on that individual if they were a good person to the person in your fraternity sorority, if they were treated right or wrong when they broke up. Um, and I think that's usually how it goes. But you know, bros before I can't. I don't want to say it like because like I said before, I don't want to demonetize my whole like YouTube channel by doing that. Yeah, and I think people need to think about like who the person is and what happened. I can see why, and I don't. That's a bummer that it does put that hesitation if you don't want to continue doing that. And so, yeah, I can see that why that's happening. So you better be careful. Be careful who you choose. Like so, treat them right, treat them correctly. So let's see. People take their emotions to orgs, and then orgs hate orgs because of a couple that they dated. Oh, okay. This is I think this specifies like what happened before someone in a relationship before in a history, and it's brought up today. Like let's say one org dated this org and something bad happened, and so they take their emotions to the org continually to every new member class to let them know don't date this org. It's just really interesting to hear something like that. And you know what? It does happen. You find out the history of certain organizations and how they treat people. And you know what? You honestly just have to find out because, like I said, we have new members, new member presentation, we have probates, we have new members coming in, new Greek life. So it doesn't mean they are the same people as the ones in the past. And I understand the history of it that made it feel that way. But I've seen some organizations change 360 and then become something different. So I wouldn't take that as you shouldn't date Greeks. I think it's one of those things you just have to open it up to observation and getting to know the organization they are now in that way. So yeah, I would say that on that part. I think I do know that people do that. They bring up the history of an organization and then bring it back into today, and then it's like they educate them. Hey, don't date this org, okay? They were, in 1960. Like it's like 2024. So so let's see. Sometimes if things don't work out, it creates tension between the orgs. Yeah, just based on that last response, it can happen that way. But like I said before, if you treat them right and you talk about it, and that person, it's not a bad person. They just most of the time when Greeks don't work out, it's because of like I don't know, like maybe it just they moved, they graduated, they're doing a different career, anything wise. But I feel like you really have to open your mind towards like who it was, why it happened, and then yeah, I think just talk as an organization that we individuals come into a Greek organization with other individuals with the same ideals, but we all want to provide that individual mindset to be able to talk about what happened. And so that's usually one of the things I just say, you know what, let me as an individual be able to make my own decisions. And I appreciate the organization for providing me that information to protect me. Um, and then I'll just move forward from there. So y'all some dogs. I saw this response. I just started laughing. I was like, wait, are you talking about the fraternity? Like there's a fraternity for like but I was like, that's a very interesting response. I guess Greeks are dogs. You are some dogs. So I don't know where that came from, but there you go. So a lot of them become for the streets. I don't know what to say about this one. Like, I'm like, oh my, yeah, I guess, yeah, for the streets, there you go. Then that's it. Greek life is for the streets. So I'm not Greek, just falling for the good Greek content. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I guess they just wanted to put the response that they looking just for the good Greek content. So I appreciate that. Many of my Greek friends actually marry Greek. There you go. Some positive responses. I love that. Like, there are, like, let's put it out there. Greeks marry Greeks. And you know what? Those I've done ceremonies for those, and they are amazing. Greeks to Greeks, Greeks to non-Greeks. It is amazing, and traditions, and I love how they bring out the organization. So good for you. I know who it is just based on the emoji, so I appreciate it, brother. So love that response. I've heard it's to avoid drama. That is true. I just don't think you should. How should I say it? You should give it a shot, especially as if you are a new member. You should give a shot, maybe to another new member. They are similar in where you're at right now. Um, yeah, I would say do it like that on that part. I think alumni should go with alumni, and then maybe no, never mind. Let's scratch it off. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but like I said, I just try and think. You can relate to someone in that same time you were at and the same experiences in Greek life. So you get to relate with someone that's actually in the same position as you. So you better have a better chance of not having as much drama than the one that actually has been there longer. Like, um, yeah, just like that. I just that's just pretty much what I think. If you want to avoid drama, I guess just don't date Greeks. Like, so it can get awkward between orgs if things don't work out because their bro sis did one of our bro sis dirty in the past. Yeah, that can definitely get awkward. I'm like trying to think of like experiences that actually happen. I've heard stories like that, like especially with my organization where a brother did someone wrong to another one. But honestly, it I think it depends on each chapter. So when I say each chapter, each school, and how it happened, and then I think I honestly I specify on that individual. Like that's the individual's responsibility to take accountability what happened. But I understand it takes a whole organization to put forth some responsibility of what happened too, so it can build that positive environment for an org to interact healthy, um, in like a healthy relationship. I've seen it on what was it on Twitter X, and yeah, there were some things that people were saying about one org to another, and what they didn't do to take action for what happened. And I know that was a very strong argument, and they were blasting the organization as a whole. And I remember as a brother, I'm like, I would love to have, do what I can and, help the individual. But there are individuals that don't want to be helped and they are saying, no, I don't want your help. And it gets to the point where, we feel bad. We did not want that to happen. And there are individuals that are willing to take advantage of that. Like, and then it's like, we as an organization really do talk about, like, it's very important about what each person does, like in the whole Greek community, because people will watch, people will see, and it reflects on the organization as a whole. And so that's the reason why, I tell everyone, you have to represent yourself and the organization at the same time. Of course, if I'm writing my letters, this is what I'm representing. Of course, I'm representing DJ Dean Thap 2, and I go out there to represent both my own organization and, of course, my Greek organization to show that this is who we are and this is what we represent. Um, and you know what? It takes a lot to, get away from the awkward tension, especially with someone doing dirty to someone in the past. And yeah, you know what? I wish there was a better response. And I just think, like I said before, just do the best you can to help whoever, you know, did someone dirty, to help them out and to, of course, reach out to them and provide that, for us to provide that leadership and accountability towards, like, fixing that mistake, fixing what happened. Um, and it'll, like I said, it'll take time and effort, but I think that's something that we should be willing to take to actually build that healthy relationship again. So, uh, because they think they are that and play around. No, yeah, that's Greek life for you. They're very confident. Like, every time I'm recording and taking pictures, I you know what? It's good that they're confident because, like I said, I bet some of them before were shy. They didn't want to talk, but now they're confident because they're in Greek life. They have all these letters. So yeah, that makes sense. I can't. Yeah, that does happen. So all right, let's see. There were a lot of responses, so I appreciate everyone responding. I actually had to type all this out, so I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Your business becomes chapter business if you date Greek. Trying to think. Did you ever bring anything up about someone's business? During my active time, I don't believe so, to be honest. So I don't know about everyone else's organization, but I'm trying to think if we did. Shoot, we would just bring up other stuff that took forever, to be honest. Like, I mean, our meetings took forever, just to take over. People were running late, and then just like trying to get things done. And then yeah, we just go IHOP. So yeah, I think I've heard that happen before, where people bring up about that, what happened, into the chapter meeting. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. The privacy is not there. Like, yep, the privacy is not there. But that's why you join Greek life. Pillow talk, one of the most common thing that can happen. I think with a lot of things within Greeks dating Greeks, I think it's very important to keep some things private, some things public, and just to keep it between the two individuals, about this situation, because you know what, there are times you do not know exactly what happened between the two individuals, and then of course there's two stories behind every book. It's just one of those things, like, we really have to be careful about what we say to someone, and trying to think about what happened, because there are many different sides to every story. And so like I said, I always keep an open mind towards when I listen to someone, um and think about what happened, and we always try to help and support each person no matter what, and that's the best we could do. Like, I it's just when I saw the response that Greeks don't date Greeks because they're, creates drama. I'm like, I think non-Greeks sometimes create drama too. It happens on both sides, and that's one of those things. I just didn't think like why people are not open to it. You know what I mean? So I think getting to know the person is very important on that part. So, but yeah, privacy is very important. I think that's the thing. Like, we need to keep to ourselves. Sometimes it's just what happens between you two should be between you two, and then move forward from there. So I just never presented the opportunity to myself, but I'm not against it. There you go. I love the opportunity to do that. I appreciate that response. Yes, definitely do that. Because we know what goes on in Greek life. Yep. There's a lot of things that happen in Greek life. So, but you know what? I I'll tell you this. I've done so many years within Greek life. It's what you do that will make your Greek life experience the way it is. You know what? I've gone to a lot of Greek events and I've been invited to a lot of Greek parties. And there were times I actually didn't go because of the fact that I knew like what kind of party it was. And I didn't want to put myself in that kind of atmosphere because of the fact that one, usually I am posting the content. So there you go. Make sure to follow me. um, and then there are times I'm just tired. And then I just know it's not a good situation to be in. Like you have to know like when you shouldn't go because of who's going to be there. Um, like for me as being an alumni, to be honest, I'll tell you right now, like I appreciate when people invite me to like certain areas, the bars and everything else like that to celebrate. But there are times I just feel like it's not appropriate to be there with other individuals because I'm older. Um, and I appreciate that. I would love to do that, but sometimes I just don't feel it's right to do that. And yeah, so that's the reason for it. Um, just putting that responsibility on yourself to make sure you take action um, of what to do next, especially if someone offers something like invites you to someplace, you can choose whatever you want. Like that's just who you are. That's great about Greek life and life in general. Like you get to choose your life path, and so um, yeah, I just definitely tell everyone just you get to choose what you want to do in your life and then make it happen. So I can get messy. I don't think they meant to say I can get messy. I didn't even meant to say it can get messy. It can get messy, but well, if you can get messy, there you go. That's the reason you shouldn't date Greeks. But yeah, it can get messy. It definitely can be. So um what I'm trying to think like in the past. Yeah, that's the thing you have to be very careful about, especially I think especially with Greek parties. I love Greek parties. I love when I DJ there. I love visiting there. I love just hanging out with other Greeks. But it can be very, very toxic and messy, and things can happen, especially at parties. So definitely be careful. Make sure to be with your brothers, sisters, siblings, whoever you need to have accountable for. Just be there for them because anything can happen, and it does get messy. I think that's the tough part about Greeks dating Greeks because it does get messy on that end, um, because of what happens afterwards. If it doesn't work out, I remember people spread rumors, people say stuff, and it just gets ridiculous. And like, wow, that's crazy that happens. So for me, if someone is known to be in an org that sexual allegations for me is a no. Whew, I don't know where that came from. Like I saw that, I was like, whoa, where did this come from? Like, um, yeah, makes sense. There's nothing more I can say. Definitely, if something's happening within that organization, yeah, definitely say a no. Um, I think the reason I try to advocate because of the fact that, like, you know what, there are some people might say no, you shouldn't say that, and then there are good individuals that try to fix it. They try to make amends towards what happened to wherever happened with that individual, and try to say, we apologize. We are taking accountability. We are taking action. Um, but sometimes people don't like that, and but for me, it's like I'm actually happy to see someone willing to make those changes than making no changes, to be honest. I think that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to make changes. Like, forget it. That's just the way they gotta treat us. Just move on. But when I see someone trying to fix something where a mistake was happening and they try to build a positive relationship again, connection, I think that's awesome. Like that's how we move forward. I mean, that's how we become better. And that's just the only way we can do it without, if you don't want to make changes, nothing's gonna happen. That's the thing. Like it's gonna stay stagnant. So but yeah, so that makes sense. I completely understand that part. because people make Greek life their whole personality. Well, that's the reason why we joined Greek life, I joined a hypeist organization and I want to be hyped too. So, that's how it goes. So, but no, um, I don't see anything wrong with that, to be honest. Like, I'm like, that's why they joined the organization. It coincides with who they are and what they want to represent, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, but yeah, that's all the responses. Woo! That was like, whoa, how long was those like responses? Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for all the responses. I don't know how you feel. I am for one. You should date Greeks. I was gonna have our host, but they weren't able to make it. So I'm thinking maybe we can make a part 2 for our next episode. Um, I believe we gotta do it on Mondays and then post them on Mondays. We're trying to do a regular schedule podcast episodes. This one is basically I like to have. I'm gonna try to do is make one for myself, just to keep it consistent and things like I want to do. One is going on campus. So if you're wanting me to visit your campus and do a podcast with you, let me know. Reach out to me, DM me. But wow, that was actually really cool to see all the responses. Thank you so much for people providing your responses. I am, of course, not gonna put your names out there as just I want to keep it private because I like to hear people's responses. I don't want people to be attacked or anything else like that. And getting it's just really crazy out there with social media. Like you post this, they look for your tag, and then they search you and then DM you, and then yeah. So, but yeah, it was amazing. It was really great to see all the responses. Like for me, like I said, you should date Greeks, but we'll find out on the next episode how my other hosts feel about it. I just think it's great because two Greeks getting together, it builds up that Greek community, builds up that connection. I know breakups happen. I know Greeks relationships don't work out well, but for me, I think for the Greek community to grow bigger and bigger, we need to give it an opportunity to actually take a chance with it, because you join Greek life for a reason, and someone that coincides with the same beliefs that you do, that's awesome. And building that connection makes it much bigger than that. But other than that, like I said, make sure to check us out on Spotify. I believe Apple Podcasts. It'll be on the YouTube channel at DJ Dean Thap 2.0. Make sure to leave a like, share. I believe on Spotify, give us a rating of 5 stars if you can. It will help out the podcast so much. Reach out to more audiences and then make it grow bigger, because that's what we're trying to do. And I'm just loving like what first episode we had for 2024. And this episode, I really love the responses that I have received. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next episode.